This is exactly how I would go from skinny fat to lean in 90 days. I used to look like this in 2017 and I look like this now. I can maintain a lean physique year round without doing diets, without doing extremes, and I've been able to help transform over 1,000 women's lives inside of our Aligned Fitness coaching program. I also stepped foot on the bodybuilding stage last year and got 3rd place. I got into the best shape and the leanest physique I've ever had in my life. So let me give you the exact step-by-step blueprint and game plan on how to go from skinny fat to lean. This is going to be the no BS, no gimmicks, no quick fixes. This is the actual stuff that works. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not a fan of quick fixes. So even though I said 90 days, I want you to know that this stuff does take time. Now, if you go all in and you fully commit to everything I say for the next 90 days, you of course are going to make great progress. You're going to make substantial changes, but just know that this needs to become your lifestyle, and it really does take years and years and years to transform your physique. And even after you reach a goal, your fitness journey is not over. You're going to set goals every single year and just focus on becoming better and better each year. This is episode 11 of my Lean and Strong series, where I am teaching you all of the secrets and everything you need to know to get lean, strong, and toned without extremes. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episode. First thing I would start doing if I wanted to go from skinny fat to lean is I would start tracking my nutrition and my food intake in MyFitnessPal. Now, do not follow what MyFitnessPal tells you, because it might say to do 1,200 calories. It might say something way too low or way too high for you. So it's not something to find your calorie or your macro split, but it's a great tool to track and see your intake. So I would track the normal food that I eat for 7 to 14 days straight. Don't try to do a diet. Don't try to eat differently. Don't try to eat less or more or whatever. Just your regular eating habits that you do right now. Because I would do this to find out a good idea of what my maintenance calories are. You take the average of those calories from the last 7 to 14 days, and that'll give you a pretty good idea of what your maintenance is. This, in my opinion, is the most accurate way to find out your maintenance calories, not plugging your information into an online calculator, because what really matters is your eating habits. What are you actually eating right now to maintain your weight? Then step number 2, I would set a macro split for myself, starting at the average of those calories. I would aim for about 0.8 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. Now, I just want to say this does not work for everyone. This is a very general guide, but what I also look at when I am giving my clients a macro split is not just the 0.8 to 1.2 grams or whatever. I look at their actual eating habits. So if you have been tracking your food the last 7 to 14 days and you see that you're barely eating 100 grams of protein, then you do that calculation I just gave you and it tells you to eat 150 grams of protein. Going from barely 100 to 150 is a pretty large jump. So I would probably start myself a bit lower and gradually work up over time to get to that goal. Now, if you're someone who has more body fat on you, you don't need as much protein. If you're someone who is leaner and you don't have a ton of body fat, maybe you already are pretty lean or you have some muscle definition, you need more protein. So it's also based on not just your eating habits, but your body composition as well. I would set protein first because that is one of the most important macronutrients. The second macro I would set is fats, because you cannot live without protein and fat. They are essential to life. And for women, I do not recommend being under 50 grams of fat a day. I really recommend trying to be within the 50 to 70 grams per day, because we need healthy fats for our hormones, for our optimal health, just to feel your best. We need healthy fats. Now, if you're someone who has been severely restricting, like maybe you did that average tracking your food thing and you got maybe 1,200 calories as your average, you might have to start pretty low with your fats because you simply don't have a lot of room in your calories, but the goal should be to increase it over time. Then the last macro I would set is carbs, which is easy. You just do the rest of those calories, whatever's left over, you would set as your carb intake for the day. Step number 3 is I would follow this macro split, but I would not do a diet. I would actually incorporate flexible dieting, which is what I like to teach to my clients, because there's no need to do a diet, to restrict yourself from certain food groups, to cut out carbs. There's no need to do that. In fact, if you're someone who's skinny fat and you want to go from that to lean, you need more muscle on your body. That's why you look soft, is because you don't have a lot of muscle. So in fact, we need to fuel your body. You should not be doing restriction if you're someone who wants to go from softer to more lean and toned. And so with weight training, it's actually primarily anaerobic training, meaning your body is using using carbs as fuel during that training session. You're going to be able to build more muscle and actually train optimally and effectively when you are fueling your body with carbohydrates. I would have a high carb meal before your workouts to really fuel that training session and get the best results. But 80 to 90% of my food, closer to that 90%, would be whole nutrient dense foods. Foods that make me feel good. Foods that fuel my body. I'm getting in my fiber, at least 25 grams per day. I'm fueling my body with the protein, with micronutrients, our fruits and veggies as well. The 10 to 20%, closer to the 10% of my food would be the fun stuff. When you go out to eat with your family and friends, you're celebrating a birthday, maybe you want to have a glass of wine here and there, or maybe you're craving some chocolate or whatever, that can be fit into your day, but you just need to make sure that you're not going way over your calories. It's planned flexibility, and it's flexibility within boundaries if you want to reach a goal. Fourth thing I would do is I would set a daily step count goal that aligns with my lifestyle and my career. Don't just set 10,000 steps per day because that's what everyone says or that's what every fitness influencer does. If you are very sedentary, maybe you have an office job or you work from home and you're not really active, it probably won't make sense for you to go from maybe 1,000 steps per day to 10,000. That's a very big jump. So just start a little bit higher than what you're doing right now. It's something that's sustainable that you can actually keep up every day. And then number 5, I would start weight training minimum 3 to 4 times per week and focus on progressive overload. This doesn't just mean lifting heavier. Essentially what it means is that you're increasing the amount of stress on your body over time and you're getting stronger over time. This can be done with, yes, lifting heavier, but it can also be done with increasing your rep ranges. It can be done with adding more tempo, playing around with slower eccentrics and things like that in your training. It can be done by simply changing the variety of the exercise. There are so many ways to apply progressive overload, but the point is you want to be getting better and stronger in your workouts over time. And the next thing I would do is I would do these same workouts for minimum 4 to 6 weeks straight. No switching it up, no trying different things that you find online, no doing all these different gym classes and different things every week. If you want to actually get lean and toned, you need to be repetitive, you need to be boring, and you should be doing the same exercises again and again and again, the same workouts again and again and again. The exciting part is you get stronger. Maybe you hit a PR or you improve your form or you get deeper into that squat, like you have better range of motion. Those are all ways to apply progressive overload as well. Which brings me to step number 7. I would not throw any cardio into the mix, at least right now. If you're someone who is skinny fat or soft, like I mentioned, you don't have enough muscle on your body. That's why you look soft. So by doing too much cardio, yes, cardio has its time and place. I know there's going to be some cardio queens in the comments. I'm not bashing cardio, okay? But you need to know how to program effectively for your goal. If you're someone who's soft and skinny fat, it's probably because you've been doing too much cardio and not enough weight training. Sure, you can do cardio all you want, but if you are unhappy with your body, you're not getting the results that you want, then doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result is called insanity, okay? So cut back on the cardio, get into the weight room, put more of your focus on that, because building muscle is what adds shape to your body. It's what makes you look lean and toned. You're not going to look more lean by just doing more and more cardio and Orange Theory and spin class if you don't have the muscle foundation underneath to even look toned and lean. But I would also do this as well, which brings me to step number 8, is managing my stress, prioritizing sleep, and rest days too. More does not always equal better. Some of you ladies are going a little bit crazy, okay? And that used to be me too, but you should not be doing 6 to 7 workouts per week. You should not be doing 2 workouts in one day. You should not be feeling guilty on rest and recovery days. That's kind of silly to think that, because on your rest days is when your body is actually recovering. Your rest days are just as important as your training days. I have 3 full rest days. And instead of trying to ask yourself, what more cardio should I do? What supplements should I take? None of that stuff matters. You should be asking yourself, how can I get better sleep and how can I manage my stress more? I would really prioritize my sleep. And so I would do this by taking the time that I need to wake up in the morning, subtracting 8 hours from that, and making sure I'm in bed 30 minutes before that time. This means no phones, no screens, and you do something to relax and calm your mind down before going to bed. I struggle with this too sometimes, but if you're feeling overwhelmed, your mind is racing, you're really stressed out with all these things you need to do, I recommend doing a brain dump session before you go to bed. So you take out a piece of paper and you just write everything down that you're stressing about or thinking about. This is going to close some loops and make sure you get that out of your head and onto paper, and it can really help you with winding down for the night. Now, I know all of this this depends on what time you work, if you're doing overnight shifts, if you've got young kids. I know those things affect your sleep, but what I am saying is try to prioritize your sleep as much as possible, because that's when muscle protein synthesis and our growth hormone actually peak, is during our sleep. That's when your body is actually recovering, and we need sleep to survive and just function optimally as well. Which brings me to step number 9, and this is something that a lot of women don't do, is I would track and measure my progress along the way, because what gets measured gets managed. I would be weighing myself, taking measurements and progress photos. I would actually be weighing myself daily. I would take my measurements once a week, and I would take my progress photos once a week too. Because when you're actually tracking your progress, you get to see if you are making progress. This should not be a guessing game. The data is going to tell you what you need to change, if any. But here's the thing, you can't get emotional about it. It's not obsessive to weigh yourself every day. I step on the scale and I feel nothing. I feel zero emotion, but it's because I look at it as data from a neutral perspective. I do not get upset and cry and beat myself up when I look at my progress photos. I know those can be hard to take, but it's only hard at the beginning. If anything, use that as motivation to really push yourself, because you can get to a place where you take progress photos and you actually love looking at them. You're like, wow, I look lean. Look at my glutes. I look amazing. You compare your progress and you see all the progress you've made. Like, it can feel good to take progress photos. It's just hard at the beginning. But again, you got to use that as motivation to do the things that it takes to get to a spot where you are happy with your progress photos. But avoiding it is not going to get you there. And number 10, which is the most important, I would stay focused and committed to my journey. I would not let people's opinions or little comments that they say affect me. I would not get out of focus and try and copy what everyone else is doing. Some of you have what I call shiny object syndrome. You see the next program, the next diet. Oh, this person just lost 10 pounds in a week doing this. And then you jump to that thing. You are not seeing results because of that. You're not consistent. You're not giving your body enough time to respond to the plan. Like, give yourself at least, this is like bare minimum, 90 days to 120 days to even a full year of solid consistency. This is really how long it takes to transform your body. But a lot of you guys are jumping from one thing to the next every 2 to 4 weeks. You get emotional, you think it's not working, and then you just try something else. But what you're doing is you're starting over from square one every time, and it's really slowing down your progress. You would be much more further along by now if you just chose one method and you stuck to it and you learned how to delay gratification. You've got to keep going even when you feel the results are not happening, even when you feel like progress is going backwards, because giving up and quitting certainly isn't going to help you. So your only option is just to keep going. I wanted to keep this one short, sweet, direct, and to the point, because this is the exact 10-step blueprints that I would do if I wanted to go from skinny fat to lean. But in the next episode of the Lean and Strong series, I'm going to be breaking down why you're not toning up and what to do instead. Because maybe you've heard this list and maybe you're like, I do most of that, I'm just not seeing progress. You could be making tons of mistakes in this entire blueprint that I explained. So the next episode is going to be explaining why you're not seeing results even when you feel like you're doing everything right. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episode. But if you want to make so much progress that it feels like cheating, make sure you click on this next episode here.